So in the Talking Toolbox newsletter, I said I'd show you how I put together things that are to do with something in the news. So there was a story in the news about religion, and I just thought, write down all the things that I know about religion, and I've put them all on bits of cards just like this, and I've picked out the 3 things that I think that I could make into a little story. So there's one about my assembly at school, there's one about when I went on a Cub Scout camp, and there's a thing about Catholics. So then I picked the 3 there. I had probably about 9 things to do with religion, and I thought some were inappropriate, some of them didn't make any point, some weren't funny, and a lot of my criteria has to be funny because I'm known as a funny speaker. So the 3 I've gone for, first of all, school assembly. So this was when I was at my primary school, the Glade Primary School in East London, and I knew that there were 2 sorts of people. There were either Christians and Jews, and I knew that I was a Christian, and I knew that what Christianity meant was that you got to go to assembly and you sat cross-legged on the floor while Mr. Carter, our headmaster, would tell us about the stuff of the day. And then at the end, just right at the end, after we'd done all the singing and everything, the Jewish children would come in and they'd be at the back, and there would be the announcements that they needed to know about. So as far as I was concerned, being Christian meant you got the whole thing, being Jewish meant you just came in at the end and heard the announcements. And during our assembly, as I am led to believe it by my friends Phil and Andrew, and who are Jewish, they got mainly to read comics. While we were having some sort of a service, they were reading comics. I thought Jewish sounded like a brilliant thing to be. But I knew pretty certainly that there were only 2 sorts, Christians and Jews, until I went to Cub Camp. So I was in the 6th Epping Forest South 1st Wanstead pack, and we went off to camp, and it was brilliant, and we stayed in this hut on the Friday night and then played football on Saturday and stayed in the hut again. And then on the Sunday, the teachers woke us all up and said, right, come on everyone, get ready, we're going to Mass. And I said, what's Mass? And they said, don't you go to Mass? And I said, no, I don't go to Mass. And they said, well, what religion are you? And I said, I'm a Christian. And they said, yeah, but what sort? Well, this was news to me. I had no idea that there were different sorts. So it turns out that there's only me and my mate Ian Starkey in the whole pack that are Church of England, and the rest are all Catholics. And I'd never even heard of Catholics. I just thought it literally was Christian or Jewish. So I didn't know what to do. So we didn't get to go to the Mass. They wouldn't let us go. I don't think we wanted to go. I think it sounded a bit like maths. Initially I thought they were saying maths, but it turned out to be Mass. And so we didn't go. So Ian and I played football. So then I thought, this sounds brilliant. It turns out that I'm Church of England. I didn't know what that meant, but it means that you get to play football. You don't have to go to maths, which sounds a bit like Mass. So that was that, and then I went home and told Mum and Dad about it, and that's where we come to the 3rd bit. Why were all these Catholics there, and only me and Ian were Church of England? And I said, why is everybody in the Cub pack Catholics? They said it's a Catholic Cub pack, and that everyone should be Catholics in that pack. And it turns out that the Catholic Cub pack was on Tuesday night, and the Church of England Cub pack was on the Wednesday night. But Mum and Dad couldn't pick me up on a Wednesday, so I had to go through all of that pressure of not knowing that I wasn't Catholic with the Tuesday night pack. Okay, and sorry, I'm just getting pressure from my audience here. I'll just introduce you to my toughest audience. Here's all my stories, and he says whether or not he thinks they're good. Here he is. He's called Jimmy Choo. Okay, so I hope that's been useful. Do you enjoy it, Jimmy?
Oh, yes, I thought it was fantastic. You really are a great speaker. Well done, Dad.
Thank you very much. So Jimmy says yes, and maybe I'll think about putting them in a route. I don't know where they'll go, to be honest, but just wanted to show you how you brainstorm, stick them all down, find stuff, and then think of the theme that runs through it. And the theme for that was me as a young child, not really understanding that there's thousands and hundreds, millions, probably, I don't know how many, loads of different religions, but I thought there was only 2. And it turns out there wasn't. I hope that's useful. I need to go because I think Jimmy needs some food.